Hey, so we about to wrap things up with the moon being in Libra at the moment. That means wrapping things up when it comes to peace, harmony, good vibes, good scenarios where you come to your ways of relationships, and of course grips and terms that you have with individuals. You don't want to place yourself into a situation of having a bad blood when it's moon ends is ending Libra, because the moon is going to enter Scorpio 1 a.m. tonight, where the moon falls. It's sleep. So you don't want to go to sleep with no heavy emotions and no heavy currents and stuff for that matter. You don't want to basically go through a transformation within your dreams right now or within your sleep. So you want to make sure that you're light as a feather. This way, when the moon and Scorpio come, it's working in his favors, where it's giving you the right power and control to go ahead and, of course, take over a situation with ease. And this way, you won't basically push yourself into a situation of being under pressure when this moon and this body of water start to make its phase. See, when the moon is in Scorpio and the sun is in Leo, this is a square right here, which means that the two of these energies are going through a learning phase. Two of the energies are learning how to not to react deeply to things, and the two of the energies learning how to not to express too much during this time. I mean, because this is kind of gonna be like a glimpse of the full one of the full moons. You know what I mean? So you don't want to place yourself into that scenario, especially when the moon is in Capricorn. That's like another full moon as well. Basically, you have Pluto in Capricorn, so that's like a whole phase until Pluto get up out of Capricorn. Then also, if you got the moon in Aries, that's another full moon. And when the moon is in Capricorn, that's a whole other moon right there. Things is debilitating. I mean, because Aries is exalted there, and of course you got Scorpio there as well. So of course, when the moment the moon is in Aries, Scorpio, Capricorn, these are the times to basically sit back, relax, and focus on where these are correlated within your charts. This way you won't put yourself into a situation of being disconnected from the areas and angles that you're pretty much pushing off. Now, what these energies are playing into the perspective, you want to make sure that you are in a perspective of making sure that you're taking full custody of your ways of relationships and the ways of equilibrium and balance during this time, so you can pretty much wrap things up in the but and you don't want to put yourself into a predicament of having a bad situation, unless the situation was called for, unless the situation came to grips where you had to create that form, so you can go ahead and, of course, have your peace, or have your balance, and have things go in your favor. But with this moon entering Scorpio tomorrow, you want to make sure you're doing a few things. You want to make sure you're not going out your way tomorrow. You want to make sure that you're not overdoing it tomorrow. You want to make sure that you're not too much into your desires, or too much wanting to pretty much express something during this time, because the moon in Scorpio is going to kind of like transform your ass for better or for worse. For me, when the moon is in Scorpio, the moon needs you to react deeply and be private about certain things, aka go within inside yourself, retreat for a little bit. All right, we're gonna do this real fast. We're gonna do the quick rundowns. Now, what you basically need to know in this perspective, you're gonna get opposed by the Taurus energies for all zodiac signs. Scorpio ascendants, you guys are gonna be getting opposed the most. Fixed signs, Aquarius, Leos, you guys are gonna get hit the most for me during this time, this phase as well. Now, we got Mars in Taurus, we got North Node in Taurus, we got Uranus in Taurus, we got all these planets in Taurus. There's gonna be like about 3 planets opposing the moon. Feel me? So this is kind of like gonna be a circumstance situation where you could lose yourself during this time. You could really lose your life during this time. Feel me? Especially if you're not aware of what's going on. Especially if you're not on point. Especially if you're not doing your protection spells as well too. This is like a good way to pretty much retreat, separate from people, places, and things, of circumstances, situations. Or if you have a deep connection with someone that's someone you come home with, y'all close, y'all kind of like separate. Don't express too much during this time. I mean, don't be up underneath somebody's car during this time. Don't get yourself harmed. Don't get yourself guilty by association this time. I mean, you don't want to pretty much put yourself out there to get harmed in harm's way. So you want to make sure your ass is out the way, so you can be alright. So this way, you knew what to do. And some people are going to be pretty much examples of what not to do. So being that you are a prime example of what to do and what not to do, you can pretty much go ahead and, of course, move right along, and of course experience the moon going right into Sagittarius, where you're pretty much expanding, while other individuals that was caught up into that rapture, they got their ass caught up into the rapture, and they sunk right down there into the sunken hole. They went too dead. But they went balls deep. I mean, they went balls deep. They didn't get a chance to pretty much get out the sperm, or get out the nutsack. I mean, they got themselves into a situation where they ain't pretty much, they wasn't able to do a Sagittarius, mutable sperm. They wasn't able to pretty much shoot out. I mean, it was trapped in, concealed. You don't want to be concealed. I mean, you want to make sure that you are, doing what you're doing. Focus on doing your rituals and spells, your affirmations, and make sure that you're not expressing too much. Make sure you're not putting too much out there for me. You can express yourself, do what you do on a day-to-day basis, but try not to go to the extremes on this time. Don't express too much. Don't pretty much show your hand. Don't allow or tell anybody what you got going on when it comes to your houses, or where you can pretty much correlate things in that perspective for me. Because the moon and Scorpio don't like shit, don't like the light. It like to pretty much be behind the scenes. Can't hold it down behind the scenes. This is some real deep occult shit for me, where you pretty much are not. This is like even with the government. This is how the government is controlling and running the world. They behind the scenes and using puppets as Bill Gates, Biden, Trump, all these individuals. These dudes are just puppets. While they just sitting back controlling everything, while they just putting these people on stage and they doing all the rituals and spells. Of course, they manifesting all everything that's how it goes. Teamer make it dreamer. But let's get into these houses real fast. Now, if you got this Scorpio in the first house, what you pretty much what you need to be doing right now is paying attention, Leo, privately and deeply towards your personal life. Make sure your personality, your personal life is getting personally constructed. Make sure you personally take care of your hygiene. Make sure you personally transform anything that's got a stench or inch with the side you. Make sure you personally getting rid of all that shit. I mean, make sure your personality, you're gonna do a personal transformation every day. Make sure that your personality and your personal appearance or personal personas. Make sure your personal life is right. Make sure you put yourself first. Don't be out here mixing and mingling with other people, places, and things, which is gonna be your seventh house. Other people, places, and things getting you up out of your possessiveness, or to have you possessed with certain relationships or relationship terms and shit like that. Yeah, the moon in Libra right now, but when the moon gets in Scorpio, don't be relating with so many people during the time. Try to sit back and relax. Now, if you got to see in second house, you're gonna be placed into a circumstance situation, being the Libra ascendant. So pretty much what you need to be doing is paying attention privately and deeply towards your resources, your material, structure, your gifts, your talents. Make sure you're in the process of reacting and responding towards these things deeply and privately. Don't express too much, aka you're gonna get opposed by your eighth house. So your eighth house is gonna have you kind of like doing other shit, or trying to make you pretty much, yeah, your eighth house is gonna pretty much be talking to you, getting you to do certain things and shit like that. Try not to allow that to pretty much be the phase. I mean, what you need to be doing right now is taking your time, having patience, and not rushing things. Eighth house wants you to rush things, do all this crazy shit. Second house wants you to take your time and have patience, no matter what the circumstance situation play out. Patience when it comes to the things you hold on to, the resources, your material, things that make you ground yourself, things that make you feel comfortable. Now, you're also going to be basically dealing with the South Node energy. So, first house, you guys going to be dealing with some past, deep, personal traits. Second house, you're going to be dealing with some past, deep desires of dealing with your resources, your material. Something may basically come up or show up during this time. So, be aware of that. Now, if you got this in your third house, what you need to be doing is, aka paying attention towards being private and deep when it comes to your ways of thinking, communicating, and sharing ideas. Try not to share too much ideas on this time. If you're sharing ideas, make sure it's light. Make sure it's not too chaotic. And of course, make sure you're not sharing anything. Don't share anything that you got going on during this time within your environment. You can share things within your environment, but try not to share too many things during this time. Try not to share too many things with siblings, neighbors, or individuals that you pretty much have interactions with. And you're also going to go through some deep transformations when it comes to this area as well. You're going to manifest situations of past ideas or past friends or past individuals that you had connections with when it comes to your community, people you went to school with, teachers, and things that matter. These things are going to come back up within your third house, to be aware of that spectrum. Now, what's going to kind of like take you off task and oppose you, that'll be your ninth house. Your certain guards going to be telling you, or certain beliefs, or certain spiritual systems, things that perspective. I mean, make sure whatever's calling you, make sure you tell them that you in your third house ain't in a business. Now, if you got Scorpio in your fourth house, now Scorpio, I mean, the fourth house falls in Scorpio, so it's kind of like sleep here. So you're going to be placed into a circumstance and situation that pretty much dealing with some past deep trauma, dealing with home, families, or privacy. Things that's going to kind of like come back up. There's going to be like skeletons and things that's going to kind of like come back up during the time, so be aware of that. What you basically need to do is be fixated and stubborn on your own ways of taking power control over your home, family, or privacy, or coming up with a new way to pretty much not allow these things to pretty much take power control over you or wipe you up under the rug. Also, you're going to get opposed by your 10th house, your status, your reputation, your goals, your responsibilities. These things can kind of like possess you and take you off task, which makes you want to like, these things will kind of like get you up out of your house. What you need to be doing right now is staying your ass home or taking care of your internal work when it comes to your home and your family and your privacy. or connect with, or have a deeper connection when it comes to your home and the family. You pretty much was probably like the black sheep of the family. But yeah, pretty much were always in a situation. But yeah, what's gonna oppose you? Yeah, what's gonna oppose you is your 10th house. Now, if you got Scorpio in your 5th house, you're gonna be placed into a circumstance, a situation of pretty much, oh yeah, 5th house. You're gonna basically be reacting. What you need to be doing is paying attention towards reacting deeply towards your romance, your love affairs, your hobbies, your fun, entertainment, and enjoyment. Make sure you are like private about your fun and your entertainment and enjoyment. Don't express too much during this time. I mean, don't be expressing too much because you are Cancer ascendant. So right now you need to learn how to like learn not to express too much, but learn how to like pay attention and formulate and get stubborn towards your romance, your love affairs, what makes you bring excitement within your life, and of course your creativity, your acting skills, and your video game, the things that matter that makes you feel happy. Now, if you got this, now you're gonna also get opposed by your 11th house. People, places, and things that you associate yourself with that's gonna be very possessive or taking you away from your fun and your entertainment and enjoyment. So be aware of that. Now, if you got this in your 6th house, what you need to do is pay attention towards reacting privately and deeply towards your work, health routines, and taking care of your health. Now, if you're planting bad seeds when the moon is a Libra, the moon in Scorpio is gonna fuck your health up. So you better for works. But also remember and understand what you need to do is take power control of your health, detox, and you need to pretty much put yourself into a situation of being having your own deeply way of being connected towards your work, health, and routines, and your responsibilities, and your tasks, and your duties, and things that you do on a day-to-day basis. Now, what's gonna oppose you and take you off task is gonna be some fucking dreams that you have, some dreams, fantasy, some unexpected dreams. You get dreams. Make sure you're sleeping good tonight, because the dream that you have can kind of like affect your 6th house during this time. Feel me? Remember, it's like the polarity. You want to make sure these two is coming together. So that means you got to take care of your responsibilities within your dreams, how you sleep, peace, and your 6th house, your work, health, and routine. Now, if you got Scorpio in your 7th house, see, 7th house is kind of like debilitated here with Scorpio. So that means you pretty much witness a whole lot of deep transformation when it comes to your relationships and your way of relating with individuals on a deeper level. Now, past relationships that you had deeper connections with is gonna pretty much pop back up right here too. Your task, what you need to be doing right now, is taking full power control over your relationships and the way you relate towards others. Now, your opposition is Taurus, which is your 1st house. So you're going to be the opposite. You're going to begin here with opposition. If you can pretty much take care of your oppositions, aka take care of yourself, then you'll be able to actually relate. I mean, but just you gotta make sure you're planting good seeds when the moon is in Libra. I mean, when it comes to relationships, because if you're playing bad seeds, and of course you're not in a circumstance situation to playing right seeds. So that means you're gonna kind of like go through a deep transformation when it comes to your ways of relationships and the things you relate with, for the worse or for the better. Now, if you got this in your 8th house, this is home here, it's comfortable here. So you're gonna have the power to make yourself comfortable or uncomfortable when it comes to the deep desires and the mystics and the magic that you can hold within inside you when it comes to your 8th house. Probably have a deep connection, a deep desire that pretty much is private, hidden. You want to make sure these things is private and hidden. You don't want to express too much of these things. You don't want to unleash too many demons. But make sure that you transform your demon to take care of your demons. Now, also, what's going to oppose you is going to basically be your 2nd house. The things you value and the things that you have a possessive need to kind of like have control over. Now, if you take care of this opposite opposition, your 2nd house, you'll be at, and of course you'll be able to pretty much flow smoothly when it comes to your 8th house. Now, if you got the same 9th house, you pretty much need to be paying attention towards reacting deeply towards your beliefs, your faith, and God, spirituality. That means you need to go within inside yourself. Also, you need to separate and travel more within your mind and physically. And what's going to take you off task is going to be the possessions that you have within your environment and your surroundings, which can kind of like distract you. But if you utilize these possessions, you'll be able to actually connect it with your 9th house, and you'll be able to actually expand with these things, for better, for worse. 10th house, if you're in a situation here, you need to be reacting deeply towards your status, goals, and responsibilities and duties and obligations. Past goals and past responsibilities can pop back up right now. Now, your home and your family can kind of like throw you off task, but if you can utilize your home and your family as a distraction method to pretty much take care of your 10th house, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. 11th house, you're gonna have this in Scorpio. So that means you are in a situation of feeling the need to pretty much have a deeper connection towards the things you associate yourself with, or separate from these things. Now, past association is gonna pop back up. Feel me? But what's going to hold you and take you upside is going to be your romance, your fun, and your entertainment enjoyment. Now, utilize your fun, entertainment, and enjoyment towards having a connection with your 11th house. You'll be at 12th house, last but not least. You're going to have some deep transformation when it comes to your dreams, imagination, and fantasies. And your work health and your routine can kind of like oppose you. But if you utilize your work health and routine to make sure you have a good dream, you'll be all right.